I found my dad's grave with the help of one of my subscribers. Now, after spending $100, checking with 2 sites to pay for information, one on my dad, another one on his wife, I still haven't found her. Well, I do believe I found her, but she has not responded on Facebook. Okay, and that one video where I talked about sending the message and she pretended it wasn't her, I checked again, and that woman is gone, but I found another one. And I believe I found the right woman. So I sent a message to her, if she would talk to me. I told her who I was and all that, so we'll see. I don't know. She don't even have a picture. Don't even have a picture on her profile. Okay, so anyway, I paid money for the sites, found information I could. Then I spent $2 here and $1 here to find out little information that I needed, like on the grandma and stuff like that. But anyway, I then decided to call all of the cemeteries in Longview, Texas. And no luck. What's so weird is that you call one number, and that actually would be 2 cemeteries connected. So I could cross off 2 names with one phone call, which was awesome. But after I ran out of the list, about 7, I was done, 7 or 8. So anyway, I called the courthouse, asked them if they had a department that I could talk to about death records or whatever, and they said they do have a death records. And so they transferred me, or no, gave me the number, and I called them. And they covered the whole area of Longview. So if he's buried anywhere, and they said even cremated, it'd be a record. So put in his name, no luck. That was quite a shocker, because I thought that that's where he was at. In the meantime, in between the conversation, because I'd call a cemetery and they're supposed to call me back in a couple hours, I went out there in my cedar chest and I went through every piece of paper I had, looking for the piece of paper that the cops brought me in 1995, having my stepmom's name on it, and that telephone number, because that telephone number would tell me where she was located, the area code. Although I did notice when I paid the money, the $50 for one of the sites, it had three telephone numbers. They were all the same, but at 3 different locations: Kansas, and Texas. And that occurred to me that must be a cell phone, because how could you couldn't have the same phone and move to another state. You couldn't do that. So I gave up. I couldn't find the paper. I have lots of papers, but since that wasn't a birthday card and that wasn't a love note, it wasn't a holiday card or nothing like that, or birthday card, I could have sworn I kept it. But anyway, I looked for about 30 minutes. Couldn't find it. Went through everything I could. So I gave up on that little idea. And probably would have went nowhere anyway. So I came back in here, and then I called the courthouse again in Longview and asked if there was a courthouse in Henderson, because that's where they also lived. But I didn't know if they lived in Longview first, then Henderson, or Henderson and Longview. I don't know. It just showed 3 addresses, and I knew it could be the first one, Hutch, because he moved to the other places from Hutch. So they said yes, there was. And so they gave me the number. I called and went through the death records again, told them who I was, my situation, and within 4 minutes of being on the phone, she goes, "We found him." I said, "Oh, man, that is awesome." For $21, Texas, actually, you can find out death records and birth records. It's like open to the public. You have to pay for it. But Kansas is a closed case, so you cannot find anything out. Now, in the meantime, I had found out all the information I needed because of the sites to try to get my dad's birth certificate. And I went through all the questions, and I got it all right. It said the order went through. It was going to be here 3 to 5 days, and I thought everything was fine. And the next day, they called me on the phone, wanting to know why my name was different than my dad's. Told them about the adoption, and they said they couldn't send it to me. And that my credit card was going to be charged anyway. So then I told them, well, I'm going to dispute the charges, because that's ridiculous. You're going to charge me that money, and I don't get anything at all. So I did, and that's going through its process. I think that is bullshit. Okay, like I told him, you know, I'm just trying to find out where my dad's buried at. I'm not going to try to be him. I'm not going to try to do some fraud or nothing like that, you know. It's ridiculous. I can understand if he was still alive, but he's dead. You know, he's dead. So, anyway, it didn't matter. She couldn't help me. All right, so that was the end of that. I thought I had a clever plan of getting that birth certificate, and then it helped me get the death certificate. Although they did say I'll have no problem getting the death certificate because that's in Texas, and it's an open case. But problem is, I don't know all the information. That birth certificate was going to give me the information to get the death certificate. And that's what I told them on the phone. It's worthless. I can't get the death certificate. I don't know everybody's birthday and the parents' name and all that. I don't know. So, screwed. Anyway, but I did eventually get that information that I needed. So, yes, hypothetically, I can now get the death certificate. But it doesn't matter because I found my dad anyway. So, what happened next? I Googled it was called New Hope Cemetery in Henderson. So I was sitting there telling my subscriber, Dev, you know, that I found it and all that, but I kept finding sites, but when you clicked on it, it didn't show me anything. Usually you can find a site where it shows you the actual picture of their grave. And little did I know she was actually Googling it at the same time I was. And I'm sitting on one site lost, kind of going in circles, and all of a sudden she sends me a link, and boom, there he was. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a tombstone. He has just like a piece of metal on a piece of wood or a piece of metal in the ground. Just a simple little thing. I have got to try to get something for him, you know, get a tombstone for him. But anyway, it was awesome. If it wasn't for her, I don't think I would have found his grave. It would have took me a little bit longer. I don't know if I could have found it at all because the site I went to just didn't show anything. But somehow she Googled the same thing I did and was successful. And that's awesome. Thank you, Deb, for doing that. So now I know where my dad is buried. And I would like to go up there and I'd like to see the grave, and I'd like to be able to buy a tombstone. I think he deserves it after all these years, you know, being alive. Just to have a piece of metal, that's terrible. All right, so that's it. Boy, I got that all done within a few days, and I'm glad. The mystery's solved. Where was my dad buried? You guys have a good one. Take care, and God bless.